You are listening to Parking Lot Perspectives with Darin and Evan.
Welcome back to Parking Lot Perspectives, episode 8. This one's all about Red One, our first ever Christmas holiday episode. Pretty exciting.
Pretty interesting.
I gotta tell you, it was kind of fun going to the theater. It's been a couple weeks. We last week's episode we did a streaming movie, a zombie movie of all things. But hey, we're getting close to the holiday season, and we are in the holiday season, right?
I'm gonna let you take this plot.
Gotta let me take this plot.
Love this type of movie.
I do love this type of movie. I will say it's a fun movie because the plot is all around that Santa Claus gets kidnapped. Bottom line.
Spoiler
alert, but it's really not. You guys see the whole trailers. You guys know it. And I will say, Evan and I were talking, this is the first time we've seen a movie get a lot of marketing behind it.
Finally.
And, we're going to see Wicked next week and Gladiator 2, and these 3 movies have had really good marketing support. Must have been because we had 5 other people in the theater.
Wow, they did a good job. They added a person in our theater.
5 people.
Wait till we have 10 or 15.
That's right. Truly exciting. So the plot is very simple, that they kidnap Santa Claus and they want to bring more good to the world. Yeah. Really, that's the plot of it. And I think we don't need to dive any further into it for that.
Pretty straightforward.
But I think we were pleasantly surprised. One, there is really good holiday music in this movie.
Yeah, you picked up on it right when we got in.
There's
first opening.
Opening song, I think, is by Mitch Miller. Was really, really fun.
Took me back.
Way back. Evan's a lot younger. So, but I think this movie had a lot of things that we wanted to see in a holiday movie. It had the sentimental piece. It had good holiday music, Christmas music. I think it had some pretty good actors. So, we're going to dive into them right now. Let's just jump in. So, first one is Dwayne Johnson. He plays Callum Drift.
Also known as Drift.
They call him Drift a lot in the movie. He's kind of like the bodyguard of Santa Claus, right?
Pretty much. I mean...
Commander. I think they called him Commander.
Yes, you picture Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he's a bodyguard, that's for sure.
Very large and in charge.
But an interesting fact that we read, right, he got $50 million for this role.
So, folks, think about that. The budget for this movie was $250 million. $50 million of this movie was for Dwayne Johnson.
Just to show up.
That's just crazy.
Just be himself as a bodyguard.
Yeah, and another little trivia, this was also supposed to go straight to Amazon Prime streaming. It was not actually supposed to go to the theater.
And they probably should have.
They probably should have, yeah. We'll get there. Next up is Chris Evans, plays Jack O'Malley. He's kind of the bad guy, and you've seen the previews. He's on the naughty list. It's nothing new that you're not aware of. But it is a change of pace for Chris Evans, because he never plays a bad guy.
Yeah, he was in Captain America, but he was also in another Knives Out. I think he was in the
That is true. Yeah, he was not such a nice guy in that one. Yeah,
that's right. But he is, as we all know, a great actor, and I like this role he had. It was different.
I will tell you, part of the movie, when you watch it, hopefully you'll watch it, if you wonder how Evan sounds like, there's parts where Chris Evans pulls out kind of an accent that Evan's got. A little bit of New Jersey. He's kind of had a little
hot dogs.
Some Doomin's hot dogs. I mean, he sounded very much like Evan. So
he actually did.
He did sound like you. I thought so. J.K. Simmons, the great actor who did Whiplash. I think he won an Academy Award for that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Awesome he plays movie. Saint Nick. Fit
Nick.
Fit Nick. He was fit. He's got some arms on him.
He's not your typical Santa. I mean, donuts, cookies.
But not in the movie a lot, though.
No.
Right?
No,
I mean,
not small part. No spoilers.
Big part, but he was not in the movie a lot, to be fair. I mean, but when he was in it, he nailed it. He made some really good lines, poignant lines. Out of nowhere, Lucy Liu.
What a great actress.
By the way, she has aged wonderfully.
Yeah.
Changed. Both our wives are beautiful. Lucy Liu, very beautiful. Yes. She has aged very, very well. She plays Zoe. She's like the director of Mora. I'm not going to give away what that is. You need to watch the movie for that. Google it. But she was in. I thought she did really well.
Yeah, she played that leader role. And it was just cool seeing her on the screen.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I haven't seen her in a while.
It's been a very long time.
I always say Kill Bill because she was one of the villains in that. And awesome movie.
Yes. Next up was Mrs. Claus, was Bonnie Hunt.
Yes, another actress I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I love Bonnie Hunt. Bonnie Hunt, actually, I think one of my favorite movies is Return to Me with David Duchovny and Minnie Driver. She actually directed that.
Really?
One of her first movies she directed.
Jumanji, she was in, right? The mom?
No.
The sister?
The sister. Oh, very good. The original Jumanji.
And what's funny, I think you said the director had a role with Jumanji.
Yeah,
or
so
one of the Jumanji. So
we'll get there in a
to
second.
him,
We'll get there in a second.
I'm
So
getting ahead of myself, but I'm excited.
he is. We're excited. So the next guy, some of you will recognize him from Game of Thrones. Some of you will recognize him as Evan did from the guy who does the red beard in Scott's.
The Scott's commercial.
Scott's commercial.
I wanna hear
Lawn
you
care.
pronounce this.
Christopher Hivju is, I think, how you say his name. He played Krampus, and
Yeah.
that
It was a great.
I thought that whole
the CGI
was unbelievable.
The whole world, the Krampus world that they've taken to.
Just fantastic. And then what's really odd is Kiernan Shipka actually played Grilla, and Grilla is somebody in mythology I've never heard of. She actually was the bad person in this. Yeah. But she, as many of you might remember, she was the young daughter of John Hamm on Mad Men. That's where she really got her start. She's done some other movies. I think Evan saw her in some things. Yeah,
she was actually in Long Legs.
Wasn't she at Riverdale too? I think she was in Riverdale.
Yeah, she was in a good amount of things, and young actress, up and coming, as we talk about on this, on this podcast. So really, really good job, I think. Yeah,
and the last person I'll mention, just to round it out, is Nick Kroll. He's a comedian. He does a lot of weird things. In this, he gets to use his talents as he's kind of manipulated by Krilla, by a force. So Nick Kroll, I think all the rest are just actors starting out, young people. You did Mark Evan Jackson was in the movie, as well as Mary Elizabeth Ellis was in it. But we'll focus on these. So those were the actors. Those were their characters that they portrayed. And the director is Jake Kasdan. Now, when Evan and I looked up all the facts on Jake Kasdan, this guy is a prolific producer and executive producer. Matter of fact, producer and executive producer, I think, on both of the recent Jumanji movies.
Yep.
He has done quite a few things, but I don't think he's
Walk
directed.
Hard.
Oh my gosh!
You saw that and you
some of you might
excited.
remember when Johnny Cash, when Walk the Line, when that came out, River Phoenix, I think he won the award for that. When it was all over the place, and then they came out with the parody called The Dewey Cox Story. And this guy was the producer on Dewey Cox, and great movie. I think it's a fun movie, phenomenal soundtrack, whatever.
He also was the executive producer for New Girl, very successful show.
Very successful
150 episodes.
Yeah, so this guy, I mean,
he's been through.
They put it together. So that's the actors. What we got going on. Let's talk about. I want to talk about the soundtrack. Because I think the soundtrack...
You were in awe of this whole movie.
First movie we've seen in a long time where it truly was a soundtrack, not a score. There was some score.
We saw a couple horrors, so they're not going to play Christmas carols and stuff.
Correct. That's true. They could have, I'd say they could have played the Monster Mash. But they did play some really good Christmas songs. Dean Martin was in there a couple. They did do a version of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, but I thought the soundtrack was very, very good. That alone, I think you'd want to watch the movie.
From the opening to the end.
Yeah.
They opened it very well with a well-known song. Darin was up standing from his seat. And then when it closed, it kind of got you into that Christmas mood.
That's a really good call.
As you're leaving the theater. It's only November, but I'm amped. I can't wait.
Yeah, the movie is 2 hours and 3 minutes long. It's not a short one. Probably could have been, again, about 145, 150, I think, and could have cut some nuances out there, but... Again, I think it's enjoyable. So soundtrack, that's the soundtrack. With very, very good holiday music in it. Yeah. Special effects.
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, why should we be surprised? They spent $200 million.
$200 million.
But there were some parts I was like, this is it? This is what they gave us for $200 million? Like some of the characters you'll know what we're talking about. It's the cold characters. With
the cold characters that are made of snow.
Noses.
But Krampus, you said Krampus.
Well done.
Wow.
Well done. They fed that actor Scott seeds, and he grew up.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it. I will tell you, that was probably some of the best CGI I've seen on a character.
Like,
flawless.
Because CGI, you see it looks great, but then when the characters get involved with the CGI animation, like he's physically touching characters, and it looks so real.
Yeah, it was very, very well done. So, cinematography. What'd you think about the cinematography?
I think it was nice. I think we'll get to the review, but meh. It gave me that meh feeling. I think they could have done more.
I agree.
The North Pole was awesome to see. The scenes when not giving much away. Santa with the reindeer. The way they positioned the camera, things like that. It was cool. It felt like you were there at some point.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Not the whole time. I
agreed. Well, I think we've got time right now. We spoke to Shane and Sara, I believe are the two folks that we spoke with. And they were pretty excited. They're, like I said, this was the first time in a while we've actually had people in the theater with us to talk to.
Yes.
And
since, Smile too.
Smile too, but it's been a while, and there was actually, some people in the theater. We're just excited. So right now,
it was the marketing.
Right now, we'll pause. We'll take a break.
Yeah,
Evan will bring you back, and let's hear what they have to say.
Go. Hey, welcome to Parking Lot Perspectives. We're here with Shane and Sara.
Hey there.
We just got done watching Red One. So, wanted to get your opinion. What did you like about the movie without giving away any spoilers?
I like the cast. It was excellent. Also, a lot of action, and it's just a good, feel-good Christmas story that makes you kind of believe in Santa. So I love that.
Love that. Love that. What do you think, Sara?
There was a ton of energy. It was, I couldn't sit still.
Excellent. Okay. So, what do you think they could have done a little different?
Well, maybe not change the North Pole so much, like the elves and stuff like that. A little different, and then what elf stood for and everything else like that. So I would say probably not change it so much from the story.
Very good. Sara?
I thought the only thing that I didn't really care for was it wasn't the shape shifting. It was when the witch went from a witch to a weird lizard. Yeah.
Yeah, the big ogre. So, real question, since it is a holiday movie, what's your favorite holiday movie?
You know what? I love the first Christmas Chronicles.
Ooh, I do like the Christmas. Very good. Okay, and yours?
Oh no, it's a Chevy Chase.
Christmas Vacation?
Yes, Vacation. Yeah.
Excellent. We have a rating system on Parking Lot Perspectives. A sizzle it's a hot movie. A meh, it's okay, and a fizzle is kind of a dud. What would you rate this movie?
Definitely a sizzle.
A sizzle enough that we want to see it again.
Wow. By the way, they were just saying before we did the interview that they were going to come back right before Christmas to watch it again. So definitely a sizzle in their book. We appreciate you being on Parking Lot Perspectives.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
So you just heard from Shane and Sara what they liked about the movie.
Thought that was awesome.
I will tell you, such an enjoyable couple to talk with. For those of you that don't get what we do, we don't lurk in the back and wait for people to come out of theater. We just wait because typically, as Evan says, most people have to go to the restroom after they see the movie.
Yeah. You got to give them their space.
Everyone's
holding it in. They got to go to the bathroom after. You can't rush up to them like a paparazzi. Hey,
and I tend
buddy,
to
I
do
gotta
that.
take a leak.
Yeah.
Back away. No, we waited, and boy, I'm glad we met them.
Yeah,
They were awesome.
Super nice people. Really, really glad they gave us their feedback. So let's just talk about what Shane said. So he talked about it had action. So this is a holiday movie with action, without a shadow of a doubt. This is not White Christmas 1954-56.
Snooze fest.
Yeah. Wow, easy. But I think Shane's right. It was actionable.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining
and
for
I
that
agree
aspect.
with him on that aspect as well.
Yep. He also talked about the North Pole. I wish they wouldn't have changed the North Pole. And I got to tell you, spot on. It was...
Shane, he mentioned, there was a part in his interview, right? We talk about the elves. And when you think Christmas movies, you think like little elves with the pointy ears. You don't get that with this. You get more of Gremlins from the horror movie Gremlins.
They're not furry, though.
No.
They look like little...
They just look like little things. I don't know.
They're odd.
They're odd looking, and they just seem out of place. It seems out of place for the North Pole.
Yeah.
It kind of threw me, Shane and everyone for a loop, I think.
I agree with that.
It's not believable, but the whole thing isn't believable.
Yeah.
So.
Well, apparently Evan needs to believe in the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't hear it anymore.
So, here we go. Yeah, I think the best part of what Shane's talking about, there's a piece of the movie, and I don't think it's giving away anything. In the middle of the North Pole, it's the original house, and the plaque on it says where it all began. Boy, they could have just focused on that, I would have been happy. But it became like Metropolis.
I felt like if anyone has seen Halloween Town on Disney, you probably might not have.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But the characters, all the different characters walking around, it felt like that. And exactly. I'm gonna put some photos up, but I think that's what Shane was thinking as well. It was just caught you off guard.
Yeah. And so Sara talked about, one of the things she mentioned was the gorilla played by Kieran Shipka. They talk about her being an ogre, and she's a shapeshifter. Yeah. It's nothing. We're not giving away. She's a shapeshifter. You guys would understand that. And Sara really didn't like how they did it. And I would tell you, plus the CGI on that character was just
not that good.
That's why.
Add it to the list with the snowman.
Woo! Not good. So I think Sara was spot on with that.
Yeah, Sara, good call out because when we were driving back, we were kind of agreeing like that was not the best way to end that or start it.
Near the end. And I do want to give a shout out to both their Christmas movies. So Shane talked about the Christmas Chronicles, and if those of you who have not seen the Christmas Chronicles, I believe it's on Netflix with Kurt Russell. I think there's a Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. They came back the second time and did
a couple of them.
Very fun to watch. Very, very fun. I would highly recommend.
Got good taste.
And then, of course, Sarah mentions what I think is almost everybody in the last 30 years' favorite Christmas
Holiday
movie is. Yeah, it's Christmas Vacation.
Clark,
you
is
know.
your house on fire?
Oh, this bird's a little dry. So, Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Julianne Lewis is there, and Johnny, the guy who plays Big Bang Theory, is in there as well. So I think those are all the kids. But it was just a pleasure. Just want to say thank you again, Shane and Sarah, for taking the time, and we'll keep going. So now we're going to go over our feedback. Let's talk about the actors. Sizzle, meh, fizzle.
I'm going to give it meh to sizzle just because I like a lot of these actors that are in this. And actresses. Lucy Liu's in it. Got to bump it up.
You know what's strange? I could almost agree with it, but I'm going to go sizzle. Why? I think J.K. Simmons nailed the parts he was in. Again, he was not in the movie a whole heck of a lot, but his lines were very well done. I think Dwayne Johnson, take it for what he is. He makes fun movies to watch. Chris Evans did a good job. So for me, I'm going to give it a sizzle. We can agree to disagree. That's fine.
I'm going to disagree because, J.K. Simmons carried it, I think, in his smaller parts. But every time you watch Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it's the same character. Get a new role. Okay. Maui. He's going to be Maui. Maybe that'll change.
Alrighty. So, special effects.
Just because a lot of those scenes, it just wasn't impressive. Meh.
I'm actually going to give it a meh to a sizzle. I know some of you have sent us comments that, you guys really need a decimal in between. This is a decimal, and here's why. Krampus was a sizzle on steroids. The Krampus special effects were a sizzle down.
The movie was not focused
But the movie was not 100%. I do think the reindeer were... I've never seen reindeer that big in my life, by the way.
Again, not trying to spoil it for the listeners watchers. The reindeer were huge.
Yeah, they were.
This was
the
first
freaking enormous.
They're imagining it. I guess they're these giant reindeer instead of normal size. But.
Yep. So we had that. So what would you give it? You said
meh,
and I'm going to meh to a sizzle.
Your decimal, okay.
The snowman effect, we'll get there. Or you guys have already
some photos up.
Yeah. So let's talk about the soundtrack.
I liked it. I'm gonna go sizzle.
Yeah, I would give it a sizzle. It's a holiday movie.
Yep.
I told Evan this week. I saw Dwayne Johnson doing an interview and. Somebody said, were you cautiously optimistic about doing this movie? And he said, it's a holiday movie. You've got to nail a holiday movie. You can't screw up Christmas.
No.
And I got to tell you, the soundtrack for me, they didn't screw it up.
It brought you back. It brought you back to the Christmas feeling that you always want to get when you see a Christmas movie.
Great call.
Of course, there's other things in the movie that kind of bring you away from Christmas. It's, I think you might have mentioned it to me when we were driving back. They curse a good amount. I mean, it's fun. Movies curse all the time. We're not really against that. It adds to the humor, but I think it was forced, and the humor wasn't there. It wasn't clicking, with me at least. I don't know about you.
No, but I think, let's just pause there for a second. I think it's a really good point, because the movie is PG-13. It's a holiday movie. It's not Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was good.
It's a holiday movie, and if you want to take the kids, there is some swearing in it. And to your point, it is forced. I think they did more harm than good with
it's forced swearing.
Language.
People know me. I drop an F-bomb here and there. But if it's forced and you're just trying to get that humor, it's not going to get the crowd. And it didn't get me, and I don't think it got you. But
So
it ruins the bringing those different people to the theater.
Yeah, you're not going to bring a bunch of kids to sit down with them.
You're young kids.
Yeah, you're young kids.
13-year-old, you're okay. 15.
Cinematography.
Meh to fizzle.
Meh. Yeah, I would give it a meh. Yeah, meh to fizzle. It's okay done.
Fizzle, decimal, yeah.
Yep, there you go. Director.
I like it. I think meh to sizzle with the director. I because of what he's come from and what he's done, I enjoyed it. I think he nailed the right cast. He paid one guy too much, but I think I'm gonna give him meh to sizzle.
Okay, I would agree with that rating. So overall, how would you rate this movie as somebody? And again, Evan and I pay for a pass that lets us see unlimited movies. Sorry, we pay for a pass that lets us see unlimited movies a month. If you had to spend $20 of your hard-earned money, what would you rate this movie?
I'm leaning towards fizzle. Meh, down the fizzle. The actors, again, if I didn't enjoy seeing them on screen, easy fizzle for me. I mean, the ratings when we saw this weren't the best. I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt. It's got some corny parts, jokes that didn't hit or land, and it was 2 hours, a little too long. So I'm leaning lower than what I usually would give, which is a meh.
So it was a fizzle or a meh?
It's a fizzle.
Wow, I think that's your first fizzle.
It might be.
It could be. I'm going to give it a meh.
Megalopolis.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a meh. Everything Evan just said, I'm not going to go over it. I think it's the same thing. It was a fun movie. I'm not going to rush out now. Shane's like, we're going to come back. They were excited about it. And I think part of why they were excited, the last 10 minutes of the movie, I think Evan briefly mentioned, it gets you amped up. You get amped up in those last 10 minutes. You're coming out of the theater. Yeah. It's holiday. You're like, let's go buy presents and spread goodwill. So I do think that's where it's
Kidnap
a meh.
Santa.
Yeah, Kidnap Santa. So meh for me. Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but I'm leaning fizzle decimal. I'm gonna final score decimal meh down the fizzle.
Alrighty.
Just for that.
By the way, just a shout out, J.K. Simmons, for those of you that might have Netflix, if Netflix wants to sponsor us, that'd be great. He also was the voice of Klaus in the Netflix. Klaus. In 2019, I believe he did the voice of that, and that is one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, you were saying I need that.
He is. It's an animated movie. I would highly recommend it. So with that, we're going to close out this episode of Parking Lot Perspectives. I think Red One, you could wait for this one. There's a reason why I think Amazon Prime was going to go right to streaming. I would not personally spend $20 to go to the theater to see it. It was meh. It was okay, and I would not take my 5 or 6 year old kid who's looking for Santa Claus. Not the movie to take them to. Right? I
agree. To close this out, you see at your own, at your own risk there. It's $20, whatever, $15, $20 to see this movie. I would just wait. Me personally, if I'm recommending to someone, just wait. Nice comfy couch, heat up your own popcorn, do what you got to do. It was okay.
Very good. So next time we talk to you, we should be reviewing, I think it's going to be Wicked and Gladiator 2. We're going to do them as close to release as possible.
They have a new Barbie and Oppenheimer. Remember
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer. Now it's Glicked. Or Glick.
Ooh.
I saw something.
Ooh, I'm not even going to go there. So that's what you got coming forward. Looking forward to.
Double feature.
That's right. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us. Talk to your friends. Let everyone know what we're doing. And also give us feedback. We want to hear from moviegoers.
Just like you guys.
Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon.